Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darcy Drager. I am the chair of the Morris County Democratic Committee, and we are now joined by Michael Roth, who is running for the CD7 congressional position. We are joined by our steering committee members, Bill Kersey, Brian Considine, Gary Colucci, Andy Meisner, and Mike Delmater. So in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. So I will kick us off by asking you to tell us about yourself, what inspired you to run for Congress, and what is the core message or vision you hope to communicate to voters?
Yeah. Thank you, Darcy, and thank you to the whole screening committee. I greatly admire the thoughtfulness of this process and the time that each of you put into this, and everybody who's watching on YouTube as well. So my name is Michael Roth, former leader at the U.S. Small Business Administration, where I delivered more for New Jersey in 6 months than Tom Kean Jr. has in 25 years of elected office. I wish he had given me a higher bar. I'm sure that many of you are coming in here feeling angry, frustrated, disillusioned with politics and the direction of this country. I know that I am. We have a president who has taken a country into war, an economy into decline, prices through the roof, and the corruption is to new extremes. We have to stop him. And we start by beating Tom Kean Jr. this November. But that cannot be where the ambition ends, because the answer to Trump is not just defeating him and politicians like Tom Kean Jr. who enable him. Authoritarianism, it doesn't start with the masked men in the streets. It starts with a political and economic system that works for elites and not for people like us. So we have to build something stronger in its place. That's what I am running to do. Build a politics that people trust, an economy that gives everyone a fair shot, a government that works for and by the people. That means we need a candidate that can go beyond a single anti-Trump election, that can go to Washington and deliver real results for New Jersey and reform the systems that made Trumpism possible to begin with. And I believe that I am that candidate. I've spent my career fighting the systems that are rigged against regular people and reforming them to work for us. So I ran an employee-owned company that helped governors and mayors like Josh Shapiro and Gretchen Whitmer create good jobs, upskill their workers, and deliver billions into investment in industries like clean energy. I founded a nonprofit that brought together an unusual group of 26 US senators, 13 Democrats, 13 Republicans, to deliver on housing for 10,000 families to own their first homes. And in 2021, when 6 million small businesses were shut down, I was asked to step in and lead at the US Small Business Administration. I fought Trump's cruelty and kept funding away from immigrants and Planned Parenthood clinics, and I won. And I oversaw the Paycheck Protection Program that saved 200,000 small businesses and 1 million jobs just here in New Jersey alone. I've worked with members of Congress, I've worked with senators, I've worked with governors, I've worked with the president to make sure our government does its job, which is solving complex problems to improve the lives of the people in this nation. And we can do that again. We all have the privilege in this swing district of being a part of this movement that bends us back towards justice, that bends us back towards democracy, that takes us back to the people. And in this field of great Democrats, in a district that votes on the economy and affordability, I am the only candidate who has created jobs, who has lowered costs, who has delivered federal funding to this district at scale. And the contrast between me and Tom Kean Jr. is incredibly clear. He was a decisive vote for $1 trillion tax cut for billionaires. I delivered nearly $1 trillion to working families. He's delivered the fewest federal resources back to our district of any New Jersey member of Congress. Lucky us that we get to be represented by him. I have already delivered more to this district than he has, and that is true in all 95 towns of this district. So I'll conclude here, which is, in my family, we have a motto, and this is true. People don't always believe me when I say this, but we say everything is better in New Jersey. And it's not because this state is perfect, but my grandparents' family was taken by masked men in the streets of Vienna in a feeling that feels just like this moment. And my grandparents were the only ones who survived, and somehow they got on a ship in 1955 and landed in New Jersey. And a community came around them, got them a job, taught them the language, got them their first home. New Jersey gave them a shot. And when a place gives you a shot, like they did for my family, you do not turn your back on it. You stand up and you fight. You fight for it every day. And that's what I'm going to do when I get to Congress. I'm going to stand up and fight so that everyone in the Zoom room, everybody watching on YouTube, everyone in your families, everyone in Morris County, and everyone in this great state of New Jersey has that feeling that they can say around the dinner table that everything is better in New Jersey.
Excellent. Everything is better in New Jersey, so I concur here.
Print the shirts.
Andy, would you please take our next question?
Sure. Michael. Congress requires negotiation and coalition building. Can you give an example from your career where you successfully worked across differences to achieve that goal?
Thank you for the question, Andy. So this district is one of the most politically and geographically diverse districts in the country. And I believe that diversity is its greatest strength. We've got rural towns to suburbs to cities, from farms to small manufacturers. People here care about their communities, they care about their families, they care about whether they can afford to stay. And when I actually listen to people across the political spectrum, I find that there are far more shared priorities than what partisan labels might suggest, especially around things around the economy, around costs, around opportunity. And my approach in leadership is quite simple, actually. I lead with values. I build broad coalitions where progress is possible, and I never back down when core principles are at stake. So I've spent my career doing that. I mentioned I've delivered across all 95 towns in this district, especially our 50,000 small businesses, farms, and industrial employers that are in this district. I've built trusted relationships with chambers of commerce, labor, and faith communities. And it's not theoretical. It's not, I say that I would do this. I have lowered costs, created jobs, built housing, delivered federal funding here at scale. And that's how you earn credibility, by delivering. And in Washington, I believe that democracy requires both collaboration and backbone. So when there's shared purpose, you work together. So I helped bring together a bipartisan coalition of 26 US senators, 13 Democrats, 13 Republicans. Democrats were led by Senator Mark Warner. Republicans were led by Senator Mike Crapo in Idaho. And we expanded affordable housing so that nurses, teachers, and first responders could buy their first homes. We framed it not as an ideology, but as the economic necessity that it really is across the country. And that's how we could bring these 26 US senators together. But I also want to be really clear, because I think sometimes in swing districts like this, people think that your job is to always work in a bipartisan way. And I'll tell you, when justice and equality are on the line, I do not compromise. At the Small Business Administration, I fought the Trump administration's restrictions that kept immigrant-owned small businesses out, that kept Planned Parenthood clinics out. Even fought against some of the same senators that ultimately joined my bipartisan group of 26 US senators. And I won in that fight. And so leadership means knowing when to bridge the divides and when to draw really clear lines that you don't cross. And I do not believe in watering, I don't believe in watering down values to avoid disagreement. I think that's how you end up with leaders who stand for nothing. You don't have to agree with me on everything. What I tell people is that if you agree with me on 9 out of 12 issues, you should probably vote for me. If you agree with me on all 12 of those issues, I'm probably lying to you or I'm not answering the actual question. And so what I promise is this, that in those 3 that you disagree with me on, when I'm in Washington, I will always show up that next day. I will always explain my decisions, why I voted the way that I did, and I will listen seriously to the criticism that might come back my way. I think that's how you represent a diverse district like ours. I think that's how you advance democratic priorities. And I think importantly, it's how you build a durable governing coalition that is not just about 2026, but can go beyond in 2028, 2030, and beyond, even in a divided Congress.
Excellent. Thank you. Brian.
Michael, what do you identify as the most urgent legislative need for NJ11 as a whole? And what would you do in your first year in office?
And actually, that was NJ7, not NJ11.
Oh, I'm sorry. NJ's too many,
Well,
too
have
many
multiple
districts on
jobs
one.
or something.
We have this special election is killing us all.
Look, we love all of Morris County. Anyways, look, our economy is completely rigged. We have corporations and billionaires that make obscene amounts of profits. They use those profits to buy off our politicians. So they pass a corporate agenda, deregulating parts of their business to grow while regulating parts of their businesses to make it impossible for small businesses that we know and love to compete with the regulatory costs. If you just look at Elon Musk alone, that man makes more money than all 9.5 million New Jersey residents combined. And he pays an effective tax rate of 3.5%. Imagine what you all would do if you only paid 3.5% in taxes. It won't be different for me because I currently have no income, but for everybody else. So I believe that we need a 2-part agenda. First, we need to unrig our economy. And second, we need to fight like hell for the policies that actually work for people. So to unrig the economy, we need to rewrite the tax code so that it works for families in all of Morrison, NJ7 and NJ11, and across the country, so that people keep more of their paychecks and corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. Second, we need to get the corporate and billionaire money out of our politics. And third, we need to have real antitrust laws that regulate companies that put people over profits, that stop healthcare companies from maximizing their profits off of our health, that stop tech companies from maximizing profit from the hate and division that they are causing. And that's even more important now as AI is surging. And then you talked about the first year. When I talk about a durable coalition, we need that coalition in order to pass a lot of these policies to unrig our economy. But in the first year, we can make life more affordable for families here in Morris County by, one, bringing home jobs that pay 6 figures back into this district, by turning the thousands of acres of land that we have in empty shopping malls, corporate parks, brownfield sites, and Superfund sites into clean energy, advanced manufacturing, and life sciences jobs. 2, we need to build housing around those new jobs so that housing can be affordable for all generations. And 3, we need to transition New Jersey into a clean energy economy, invest heavily in our energy infrastructure so that we lower our utility bills. In the public and private sectors, I have done all of this before. Both the tactical delivery for families right now and reforming at the systems level.
Excellent. Thank you. Bill.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Roth. What do you see as the most pressing challenges facing the Morris County communities of the district, and how would you use your role in Congress to try and address them?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Bill. I'll talk about two things: immigration and flooding. Look, the warehouse that ICE is turning into a detention center in Roxbury is simply unconscionable. It is a moral argument. I will work to defund and dismantle Trump's ICE. And depending on the current status when I get into Congress, I'm going to work to block the opening of any Roxbury ICE detention center, either through legislative means, by blocking funding through a reconciliation package, which I think is possible, or by putting pressure on the private companies like Dalphin Industrial and Goldman Sachs to stop them from going through with it. It's a thing that we did a lot when I was at the Small Business Administration. We put the soft pressure on companies. When I was at the SBA, when JP Morgan was not reaching into low-income communities, the Vice President Harris and I had a call with Jamie Dimon and their head of small business, and we told them that if they did not reach into communities, that we were going to shame them in public. And they changed. We have to use our soft power in Congress to move private companies to block things. And that's something that I know how to do. The second piece, flooding has been a constant challenge in Morris County with the Passaic River. I mean, across the entire district. I've estimated it costs, there's about $50 million of damages of preventable damages to homeowners, renters, small businesses every single year. Tom Kean Jr. has done nothing to bring dollars home, to remove the debris from our rivers, to invest in our stormwater management. These are programs that exist within FEMA and the EPA. Those dollars exist. We just need a member of Congress who knows how to make Washington work to get those dollars back home. And when I was at the Small Business Administration, I'd have members of Congress calling me at all hours of the day and night, literally 4 a.m. and midnight. She knows this, so I don't feel bad about saying it on camera. Nydia Velasquez was in my face every day, fighting for constituents, and it made a difference, right? It held me accountable, and it got dollars to the places that they needed to go. And so I've seen how it works when members of Congress advocate for their constituents, get dollars back into their district, and that's what I'll do with flooding.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. And now over to Mike Delamater.
I can't hear you, Mike.
Neither can we.
New Jersey 7 presents a challenging electoral landscape, competitive mix of suburban and conservative-leaning communities, with Congressman Kean holding the advantages of incumbency and a significant fundraising operation. Describe your overall strategy for building a campaign capable of winning this district, how you develop organizational strength, build a competitive fundraising base, and leverage local support for the Morris County Democrats to demonstrate electability across all parts of the district.
Thank you for the question, Mike. I thought we had officially adopted Bloris for all questions, right?
Very good.
Look, we saw what works, right? It's the grassroots energy. It's the knocking on the doors. It's an incredible field campaign in 2025. This district, yes, Tom Kean Jr. is a tough opponent, but we won by 2 points in this district. This is very winnable, and I truly believe that our campaign and that I was built to beat Tom Kane Jr. I don't think that I'll win by a little bit. I think I'll win by a lot. I can fire up our base, but also wherever Tom Kane Jr. is strong, I'm stronger. I've got the right message, the right coalitions, the right track records, the right team. So first on message, it is an incredibly diverse district, but there's one thing that basically everyone in this district has in common. 90% of people in the poll in 2024, independents, Democrats, and Republicans across the district said that one of their top two issues were the economy and jobs and the cost of living. I'm the only candidate who has delivered on the economy and jobs and the cost of living. Second is the coalition that this campaign can build. We've got built-in coalitions that are beyond just anti-Trump rhetoric. This is a district that has 50,000 small businesses, most of whom I have delivered for before, most of whom are independents and Republicans. I'm a Democrat who can walk into a chamber of commerce and I'm not just welcomed in, I get hugs. So it's a place where Tom Kane Jr. has historically been strong. Same thing goes with, I grew up in New Jersey interfaith communities. I grew up in New Jersey first responder communities. These are places where Tom Kane Jr. is historically strong, but I'm stronger. Tom Kane Jr. used to come to my family for photo ops because he wanted to be seen with us, because my father for 35 years has run our local volunteer first aid squad. So these are all people who don't see me just with the D next to my name, but they see me as Michael Roth. And then the track record. I'm the only one in this race on the Democratic side with a real track record to go against Tom Kane Jr. To get Tom Kane Jr. to talk, we need to have something to compare against. We got to get him out of his cave. So he was the decisive vote for a $1 trillion tax cut for billionaires. I helped deliver $1 trillion to working families. It narrowed the wealth gap for the first time in a century in this country. He's delivered the fewest federal resources back into our district of any New Jersey member of Congress. I've already delivered more for this district than he has in each of the 95 towns. And the last thing I'll say is we are people powered. In the general election, you cannot strictly paid comms your way out of everything. Our campaign understands how impactful deep canvassing is, and will prioritize a robust field program, leveraging as many tools as we can to build the foundation necessary to communicate our message and bolster turnout. We also really strongly believe in reverse coattails. Strong local candidates do an incredible job for people on the top of the ticket. We are going to do everything that we can to support Morris County candidates, local candidates, because that's how we're going to win too. And the biggest change that you can have is in your local politics. So we believe incredibly strongly in that. And one thing I know from running a nonprofit, a for-profit, federal agency is the most important thing you can do is hire the best people. And that's what I've done. I've got a bunch of people who are way smarter and better than me. I've got Andy Kim's old campaign manager on our team, Tom Malinowski's old campaign manager on our team, Tom Malinowski's old senior advisor on our team, and my campaign manager who leads us all, Hillary Caldwell, who's on, has won multiple elections in districts that look just like this in every single district. In every race that she's won, she's outperformed Democrats in those races. And if you're open to it, Hillary, if you want to add anything to it, I'd love to welcome you in too.
I'm going to have to say we will have to elide Hillary's contribution, but we will see you at the nominating convention, Hillary, and would love to hear more. Michael, I am going to move you along to our candidate-specific question, which will be asked by Gary.
Yeah, hi, Michael. Housing affordability is a critical issue in New Jersey 7. How would your experience in economic development and the SBA inform your approach to expanding affordable housing, supporting first-time home buyers, and promoting sustainable development in the district?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I met with a resident a little while ago, 94-year-old woman, who's lived in New Jersey her whole life, and she told me, I don't know if I can afford to die here. I've heard different parts of the same story across every generation in New They And the biggest issue, the biggest cost is housing. Almost half of New Jersey residents have said that they might have to move out of New Jersey because the cost of housing is too high. And so we have two twin problems in New Jersey housing. We are 400,000 housing units short, and we have towns that feel they are overdeveloped. They don't have the infrastructure to support housing. We create, for the elected officials on this call, we create so much tension at the local level because of housing. It's where local elections go. And so these two things are true at the same time. And the actual underlying problem with our housing is you have to build housing around jobs and transportation, unless you're just isolating people. And so New Jersey is actually 49th in the country in economic opportunity. We talk about cost of living, but we have a real economic opportunity issue. What we need to do to solve our actual housing affordability issue is we need to take the thousands of acres of land that we have, empty corporate parks, empty shopping malls, brownfield sites, bring jobs of the future like life sciences and advanced manufacturing back here. And then we build housing at scale around it. It's what I've done my entire career. I did it at my company, was hired by governors like Josh Shapiro and Gretchen Whitmer to do it. It's what I brought the 26 US senators around the table to do. These are not talking points. This is genuine expertise. And right now, when we're in the middle of a housing crisis and affordability crisis, we need to elect members of Congress who actually have expertise in the issues that need to be solved.
Thank you. All right, so that concludes our standard questions and candidate-specific questions. Andy Meisner is now going to walk you through 10 very simple yes or no questions, ideally, with just sort of a gut check on various Democratic Party planks.
You okay, Michael? Okay.
I'm just training myself to only say yes.
Do you support access to affordable health care for all, including protections for pre-existing conditions?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you support policies that promote racial, gender, and LGBTQ plus equity?
Yes, and I fought for that my entire life.
Do you support policies to address climate change and expand clean energy?
Yes, and I fought for that my entire life.
Do you support reproductive rights, including a woman's right to choose?
Yes, and I fought to get funding for Planned Parenthood clinics when I was at the SBA. I fought back against Trump.
Do you support protecting and expanding voting rights?
Yes, absolutely.
Michael, do you support comprehensive immigration reform, including a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants?
Yes.
Do you support federal investment in public education and affordable higher education?
Yes.
Do you support policies to protect Social Security, Medicare, and other essential programs for seniors?
Yes, and those things are deeply under attack, more than what the news is telling us.
Do you support investment in broadband infrastructure and digital access to bridge the technology divide?
Yes, and we need to seriously look at our regulation to make sure that we can actually deliver that effectively and quickly, because the legislation has been passed, but we just have not been able to actually implement it.
Number 10, Do you support federal initiatives for disaster resilience, climate adaptation, and infrastructure modernization?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, that's all 10. Thank you.
I'd,
Oh, go ahead.
I'd give myself a B- at only sticking to one-word answers. I tried my hardest, I swear.
It was all good. So we have two last questions for you. The first is, this is a contested primary, 6-person field. If you are not the nominee in June, will you commit to supporting whoever the winner is?
Proudly will. I intend to keep this as my full-time job through November. No matter what, I'm going to make sure that my coalition, if in the unlikely chance that it's not me, that my coalition is as energized for the eventual nominee as they are for me.
Excellent. Brian, will you give us our closing question, and then we'll open the floor to any follow-ups from our screening committee.
This might be the hardest question. Campaigning is hard work. What about campaigning makes you happy, if anything?
Brian, I love campaigning. Genuinely, I have such a good time. There is nothing that gives me more energy than going out and meeting with people and listening to when somebody shares something with me about a problem, about a challenge that they are having. That means that they are putting their trust in me. That is so deeply personal for somebody to do that. And there's honestly nothing that gives me a greater joy than that, Brian. I really care about our community. I really care about the people in it. This is such an incredible way to be able to serve our community, and it's what is so upsetting. One of the many things that is so upsetting about our current member of Congress is that he doesn't understand this at all. My 8-year-old niece has gotten so engaged and involved in this campaign. She asked me this question. She said, Michael, what does a representative do? And I'm like, Gabrielle, you tell me, what do you think? We've been talking about this for a while. Represent the voices of the people. That's what my 8-year-old niece said. Something that she just intuitively understands that our current member of Congress doesn't. And so, Brian, I love every second of it. And if you don't, you're in the wrong job. And I'm going to love every second of it when we're out campaigning against Tom Kane Jr. and the knives are flying. I'm going to love it when I'm in the halls of Congress fighting for you. I'm going to love it when we go back in 2028 and we win again and again and again. I'm going to love every second of it.
Thank you. All right. Do any of our steering committee or screening committee, members have any follow-up questions?
Yes, if you would, Mr. Roth, how long have you lived in Congressional District 7?
In my life, probably about 25 years.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone else have anything? All right, Michael, I'll give you a minute to leave us with a closing thought.
1 minute. Okay.
1 minute.
My closing thought is thank you. Look, this election can be the most important of our lifetimes, and that's a cliche, but this one can be. But it won't just happen by winning one election. We get it by electing leaders who can hold on to this seat and step in on day one to take on the corruption and build a politics that people can trust again, an economy that gives everyone a fair shot, and a government that works for and by the people. We are a people-powered campaign, and Morris County does this thing the right way. And that's why it's so important and why I'm humbled to be in front of you all, because the people that make up the Morris County Dems, you all are what makes Bloris Bloris. You all are what is going to turn this election, and it would be a true honor to have your support. And so thank you, everybody, for volunteering your time for doing this. I want to humbly ask you for your support, for your vote. It would mean the world. And again, thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you at the nominating convention on Sunday, March 22nd.
I cannot wait. Day after my birthday. I hope there's cake.
There will at least be coffee and bagels. I can guarantee that.
I'll bring the cake. That's fine.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Michael. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.